Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Frostbyte, and welcome back to another commemorative coin video. Today, we're going to be talking about the 1926 Sesquicentennial half dollar. Now, if I make a mistake in this, 2026 is the semi-quincentennial half dollar celebration. This is the sesquicentennial. One is 150, the other one is 250. If I use those interchangeably, bear with me. So let's get into this particular one. Now, there's a couple of things about this that I'm going to speak quite frankly of. This is not going to be the standard half dollar series that I've been doing thus far. And why is that? It's because 2026 is the semi-quincentennial. But there's a lot of information, there's a lot of things that we could have learned by really searching into 1926 and what happened at the sesquicentennial celebration. We could have took public opinion and public polls and identified what was wrong. We could have looked at the numismatic interest, and we could have looked at the historical statements of what was said during that time frame and really made some better choices regarding the coinage that's going to come out for the semi-quincentennial next year in 2026. Why is that? Well, because as we look at some of the barriers, the problems, and the items faced in 1925 and 1926, we're going to see some commonalities that, well, most likely will lead us to the same result. Remember, history repeats itself. And Einstein once said that insanity is doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. Unfortunately, neither the US Mint or the CAC board understood that when they chose the designs 2026. And we'll break into that and we'll explain. So 1925, John Cynic was the chief engraver. He was given the task of creating two coins, the half dollar and the 2.5 gold eagle. Well, while his design for the 2.5 gold eagle was accepted, his design for the half dollar was not. Now, this is a little bit of a problem because for many, many years, a lot of people thought that he was the one who actually did this. He was the one who actually designed this particular coin. Unfortunately, it wasn't him at all. Now, he took John Frederick Lewis' design, who actually was a designer, who actually designed the half dollar, transposed it into an item in which he could engrave. So John Cynic, being the chief engraver, would actually engrave the coin, but the credit for the design didn't go to John Frederick Lewis for quite a number of years. And so I want to make sure that you are aware that John Frederick Lewis is the designer of the half dollar, while John Cynic was the designer of the $2.5 quarter eagle. Let's look at the time frame of what was happening 1925, 1926. Well, there were some elements within what was happening during this time frame that caused the sesquicentennial to be what many classified it as a lackluster celebration. One of these being the tumultuous situation around organized crime. Now, this was in Philadelphia in 1926, but just a few months prior to this, there had been a major issue. Now, there were shootings in major cities, Chicago, New York, but there were some in Philadelphia and there were some in other locations of the United States because of organized crime. And when you talk about organized crime, there's a couple names that really come to mind, and one of them is Al Capone. Now, during this time frame, just a few months prior to the start of this event, there were tactical situations that needed to be made because 12 men in a car drove by Al Capone's headquarters and riddled the place with bullets. Now, Al Capone's men only suffered one fatality during this time frame, but again, it caused issues. We had 19 countries, 4 different provinces showing up for this event. This was a world stage event. We had to make sure security was in place. So some of the events and some of the items that were planned got circumnavigated. And this caused issues for those 6 million people that would come to the event. Now, being in a world stage, you would want to make sure that things were in place and that the nation's eyes were focused on this particular event. Unfortunately, there was something else that was happening during this time frame that took the mindset of the wealthy and put it to the skies. And that was the advent of the license of aviation. See, in 1926, they approved licensing for the people who could fly. And so the wealthy, the elite, were spending their money buying airplanes and getting licensed to be able to fly the friendly skies. Now, why was this a big deal? Well, because this was taking money away from those would be investors and those would be collectors. And that actually caused problems. Now, when we talk about the government's focus on this particular event, their minds were set on another major product that we would look at and take for granted today, and that's the numbering system for the US highways. See, in 1926, the implementation of the numbering highway system was put into place. So a lot of people thought that the Sesquicentennial celebration was kind of an afterthought to all these other major occurrences that were happening. Some poor choices in design elements to mediocre designs, the development and the accreditation of a design to a chief engraver that didn't actually create the coin or the design, but took credit for it anyway, led to some tumultuous attitudes during this particular time frame. Now, why am I talking about it as though we can learn something from that? Well, because in 2026, we have the semi-quincentennial celebration, the 250th celebration of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Now, when we look back at this event in Philadelphia, 1876 was the centennial, and it was heralded as a major event. It went off without fail. The nation engaged. They enjoyed this. They loved this piece. The sesquicentennial was not met with as much fanfare, while the nation had its mind on other things, growing the nation and putting it less towards the reminding of 150 years of the signing of the birth document of our nation there in the place, the city in which it was founded. See, there's so much history in Philadelphia. You have the Liberty Bell, the iconic Independence Hall, and we can't forget Pat's and Geno's. Here we are in 2025, getting ready for the semi-quincentennial event. And once again, we've made terrible choices in the designs that have been selected for the celebration of the Declaration of Independence. Now, I can't help but think in commentary that if we would have looked at the situations of 1926, we might have made some better choices. We might have actually included something that referenced the Declaration of Independence, but no. We allowed political turmoil and unrest, the sides to gather on something that didn't even deal with the Declaration of Independence to dictate our coinage. And so while there was great opportunity to have historic reflection on the signing of the Declaration of Independence, liberty itself represented in coinage to be commemorated in a way that was feasible, but in full remembrance of what 250 years ago signified a nation to stand free and clear against tyranny, to separate ourselves as an independent group of states, coming together under God, indivisible, one unit. And we had to go with some designs, well, that are lackluster to say the least. I can't help but think that 2026 is going to be another one of these celebrations where our nation just didn't put the forethought into really thinking about what the Declaration of Independence was. Political things be as they may, this may not be your stance on this, but I think that we are a botched 2026 program. Unfortunately, we're a little too late in this. The CAC board and the United States Mint director screwed us on this one. So why am I talking about this in a coin when I'm talking about this commemorative coin right here. Well, if we look at this, we're going to see that 1,000,000 of the half dollars were designed. They were approved. And 200,026 of the quarter eagles would also be approved. However, just like the failing of this event, almost 85% of the total coins would be returned to the U.S. Mint for destruction, leaving only 141,120 of the half dollars and 46,000 of the gold quarter eagles, respectively. But despite the lower mintages, you could find these in still high grade. So if you're going to be looking at buying one of these, you can expect to pay a pretty premium for an MS-66 or better. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been about the Sesquicentennial celebration in Philadelphia. And while I like the designs of the coins, I can't help but think this event could have been one to remember. Unfortunately, I think it might overshadow and be another one of these in 2026. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping that there may be something fascinating and the people really get behind the semi-quincentennial, the 250th celebration of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be that way. This is Frostbyte's commentary on this particular coin. And if you enjoyed this, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and do me a favor. There are videos here. YouTube algorithm has determined, based off of what you watch, these ones you might like. So go check them out. This is Frostbyte. I will see you next week when we talk about another amazing coin, the Vermont Sesquicentennial, or the Bennington of dollar. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys next week. Take care.